Hi everybody, so today we are going to do a eyeshadow tutorial slash first impression. I just received Tarte Man-Eater palette. This has been everywhere and as soon as I saw it, I saw it on Michaela's TikTok. As soon as I saw it, I had to get it. This palette is like everything that I absolutely love. Look how beautiful it is. It is gorgeous. So I wanted to get this immediately. So I have a few ideas of a look that I would like to do. And before we really get into it, I'm gonna, like last time, kind of share the products that we're gonna be using. So first is obviously the Man-Eater palette by Tarte. And then I'm going to use my Gerard Cosmetics primer. And I'm thinking about using the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, BFF Cream Gel Liner in the shade Wildcat. It looks like this. It kind of looks like olivey, but it's actually like a really beautiful gold shade. So I'm going to zoom you in or bring you closer and then we will begin. So just like last time, I have my mirror right in front of me here and I have you guys here. So if you see me looking, I'm looking at the mirror. So the first thing that we are going to do is take the Gerard Cosmetics eye primer, the eye base, and I'm gonna put it all over my lids. Same brush as last time, just a random concealer brush by Wet n Wild. And I'm just taking a little bit right there and closing this. And I'm just gonna spread it on my lid at first and then tap it in. So we're bringing this eye base all the way up to the brow because honestly, I don't know where I'm going with this look. I do have an idea because this is a fall palette. So I do think I'm gonna go into a darker fall theme because there's this really beautiful mustard color and this deep green in this palette. This is the deep green I'm talking about, nice mustard color, and I really love this shimmer. So I don't know. We're gonna play a little bit and see what happens. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my tapered blending brush. These brushes are all stained, but I did swipe them on like my eyeshadow cleaning sponge thing, this thing. You can see it's dirty. So they don't have pigment on them, but they are stained and quite dirty. So I'm gonna go into the shade Fantasy, which is that dark green. I'm gonna jump right into it. And I know that a lot of people don't like to do shimmers in their crease, but I'm doing it. I do it all the time. I don't really care. So do whatever you want. So I'm gonna tap out this creasing and I'm just gonna start packing it in my crease and maybe a bit above my crease because I do have hooded eyes. So I'm just gonna maybe bring it out to there, make this even, so that when my eyes are open, you see that peak of green there. And then I'm definitely gonna like extend it out this way too. And you know, I have my micellar water, so if it gets a little out of hand, we can clean it up, no big deal. And like last time, we are going to tap the pigment in to the base so that it sets the base. And then once that base is set, I am just gonna make sure that that color is really worked in. We will blend it out. It won't look so harsh. But for now, I wanna just really get that color packed on and pretty. Okay, so this is where we are with the shape. So next, I'm gonna go in with a big blending brush. Big blending brush. This big. And we're gonna go into a lighter shade to transition and tap it over. So the shade that I'm gonna go with is this shade right here called Temptress. And I'm really gonna tap into it lightly. And I'm gonna just tap this over the edge of that green. I'm not really necessarily going up, but you can kind of see I'm just tapping it on the edge, letting that set the eye base there, dipping in again just a little bit. You can see how pigmented they are. It's actually quite nice. Doing it again. Personally, for me, I'm not a big fan of bringing stuff up to my brow, so I probably will clean this part up a bit But for now, I'm just gonna run it on the edge to kind of blow that out a little bit. Blend it so it's not such a harsh green line. You shouldn't have too much trouble, just kind of fluffing that out. Now, if the color gets a little bit too washed out, I'm just taking that same green brush that didn't dip back in, and I'm just tapping the edges of that brown that I added, and I'm just gonna run through again, just like that. Now that that's all blended out nicely, I'm gonna take my little baby blending brush. It's very small. Any little tiny blending brush you have is gonna be fine. And I'm gonna dip into the shade Playful, which is this kind of like, it's kind of like my skin tone. It's just this light pale color. And I'm just gonna take that on the brush and I'm just gonna run that right under my brow and bring it down into that brown shade to give a more balanced blend, basically. I think while I have this brush with me, I'm gonna dip back into Fantasy, which is our first green shade. And I'm just gonna like load it up a little bit, and I want to sharpen this here. Now, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this brush because I don't want there to be like a harsh line, you know what I mean? But I do want to add just a little bit of pigment in this outer corner. So I'm really, really lightly taking what I put on the brush, and I'm just kind of, barely touching my eye, just kind of buffing that in, just like that. The way the light is reflecting makes it look like it's not blended, but it is. It's just a shimmer. But do you see how that adds back that shape just a little bit in that outer corner back here that one doesn't have? So we're just gonna do the same thing. Okay, so I'm just using my finger and I'm going into the shade Feline myself, and it is just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm gonna pack this basically all over my lid. That's really pretty. Okay, so because I have hooded eyes, it is normal for it to transfer up into here. So I'm just gonna take my brush that had that little bit of green on it, and I'm really just gonna feather this up into the green. I don't mind that. If you don't have hooded eyes, this won't be an issue for you, honestly. He's so rude. But if you do have hooded eyes like me, you might just want to kind of blend that into the green. It won't really change the green's color, but you'll get like a little bit of shimmer there, and it'll just look intentional. That's what I do. You know, sometimes with hooded eyes, you just kind of have to suffer through it, you know what I mean? Hooded eyes aren't bad, but you just have to kind of like approach it differently. So that's where we are with that so far. And then I think I'm gonna take the shade Heartbreaker, which is this gorgeous, gorgeous, like orangey gold. And I'm just tapping that right on the center of my eyelid. That's so pretty. Now what I do think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little blending brush again, and I'm gonna tap into the black, which is called Animal Instinct. And I'm tapping into it one time, not a lot. And I'm just gonna deepen the crease a little bit. I am really barely touching my lid. And if I need more, I go back in, and I'm just wanting to build that depth right in that crease. For me, makeup is more of like a creative process than it is like following certain rules or certain guidelines. Really, makeup to me is like art, so it's like more of a canvas type thing. I would recommend for these shimmers a glitter base, like a glue glitter base. I didn't do that, but next time I will, and that will also help with like transfer to the top of your lid. So what I want to do for this look is take an eyeliner. So I'm gonna take my favorite eyeliner, which is the Fashion Messier makeup. This is my favorite eyeliner. I've never been able to find like a really, really good waterproof eyeliner, but this is as close as I can find. So I'm really just gonna do a thin line, but this is gonna be how I determine like where I want this green to kind of end. I'm just gonna do that. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna clean it up. with my cellar water. So this is the shape that I have going on, and I'm gonna take my little teeny brush here and dip into the black and just kind of like feather this out so it's more of a straight line. With hooded eyes, it's kind of an issue, so I'm just gonna dip into this black, and I'm just gonna go over the liner just a little bit with my eye open, and just like try to connect it, make it a bit straighter of a line. Okay, so I cleaned up a little bit, gave myself this little wing here, and I'm just gonna redo it on the other side. I wanted to get the shape right, and I wanted to get it cleaned up a little to make sure this is what I want. So I did this little like hangover there for my hooded eyes. So I just want to try to get that shape the same, and it's really hard doing eyeliner on camera, so forgive me. I might have to edit this out. This is the liner situation I got going on. I have to clean it up a bit. I did this little like wing shape. So what I'm gonna do now is actually brighten up this inner corner of my lid. So I'm gonna go into Sundown, which is this shade, and it's really, really beautiful. And I'm just gonna put that right on my lid, like actually on my lid, so when the light hits it, it's just a little bit of a gold reflect, which is really pretty. So now I'm gonna clean this up, and I'm gonna do my full face, and then I'll be right back, and then we can finish the eyes together. Okay, I'm back. I finished my face. I changed, put some jewelry on, how I would style this, and if you hear crying in the background, we have fostered puppies and they're very loud. So what we have left to do is the bottom lash line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the ColourPop eyeliner and I'm gonna line my waterline. The reason I love these so much, I have a bunch of them in different shades, is because they are very blendable, but once they set, they don't move at all. I love them. As you can see, it just kind of adds like some pop and definition, but it's also not so harsh like black would be. Next, I'm gonna take the Line Artist Long Wear Gel Eyeliner from About Face in the shade Into the Void. It's black. I love these gel liners for the exact same reason that I love the ColourPop ones. They blend beautifully, but then when they set, they do not move. So I'm gonna do this in the top tight line. I'm gonna tight line my top waterline, I guess, whatever you would call that. So now I'm gonna go back into the Maneater palette. I'm gonna take my teeny little liner brush like this, and I'm gonna dip right back into Fantasy, which is the green shade. And I'm gonna tap it because this is really pigmented, and I'm gonna run this really, 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 really lightly on my lash line underneath the gold eyeliner, but not like really down. I'm just sticking it to, oh wow, it's more than I wanted. Just sticking it to that line. I'm gonna do the same on this side. I'm only taking it halfway. So that was more pigment than I wanted. So I'm gonna take this little blending brush, and I'm just gonna run it back and forth like that. And then the last step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my palette, is I'm gonna take the same little blending brush, and I'm gonna dip into the Temptress shade, which is this brown we used earlier, and I'm just gonna fan this over the green a little bit, just to help it blend and not look so harsh. So one of the last things I want to do is take that rose gold shade that's on our lid, take one of my fingers really, really lightly. I really don't want a lot, and I'm just tapping it right in here. And then with my tiny Item Beauty mascara, I'm gonna do the bottom lashes. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys liked it. I really, really like it. It went into a different direction than I thought it was going to go, which is always really fun for me. I like seeing kind of how my ideas evolve as I'm doing my makeup. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And honestly, I really, really love this palette. The formula is awesome, and like the foiled kind of look that these shimmers have are gorgeous. These shades like really blended beautifully. like really, really, really beautifully. So I am going to be doing a lot with this palette this year, this season. Yeah, so let me know if you'd like to see more with this palette. I will definitely do more because I just love the way this looks. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sitting through this tutorial. Let me know what you think of the look. Would you like to see more? And is this one of the palettes that you think you might pick up this season? Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.